Hello beautiful people, welcome to your practical application of astrology and my personal story share. This video will predominantly be a card pull. I have 6 decks ready here. I don't know if I'll have enough time to use all of them, but because my energy is still quite fluctuating, I am going to turn it over the cards to speak for me. But first I'm going to share some personal experience and then we'll see what happens. But I first and foremost would like to open this space for my higher self, my spirit guides, angelic team, and all the beings of light that wish to be present for this recording to be here. Thank you for being here, and thank you everyone for watching, everybody for spending your time in my little company over here. I will do my best not to make this too long, but let's see how it goes. So yeah, here I am in Mexico in my cocoon. I re-entered my cocoon, and I didn't know just how much I will need to be here at the time when I booked this flight on a new moon in Leo, where I was very strongly encouraged to the point of being pushed by spirit guides to book that flight. And it was not something that I planned or anticipated. I really did not expect to come back to Mexico, but actually the weeks coming up towards the point of coming here proved that this was definitely the best solution for me and the best choice that I could have made, even though I didn't know it at the time. So the main thing that I want to focus on, especially because we've just experienced a trine between Mercury in Sagittarius and North Node in Aries, and we know that currently Mercury and Jupiter, the storyteller, have a mutual reception because Mercury is in a sign ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is in a sign ruled by Mercury, Jupiter being in Gemini retrograde at the moment. And us being in a Scorpio season still, with the sun being on a Piscean decan. And what I didn't realize is that actually Sun is conjuncting my South Node, opposing my North Node, squared my Jupiter, which is my skip step. So there are all these stories that are coming up, and this is not just for myself, this is for us collectively as well, but this is showing up somehow in your life, personal life, through some experiences that you are going through. But with everything else that's going on globally and everything that's going on in our personal lives, personal stage, there are all these things that are coming up to the surface, which I already discussed in previous videos, which I had the pleasure to experience revisiting my roots and my family. But the main thing is the story attached to it, because there are so many emotions behind these stories, behind this belief system, behind these thoughts. And a big realization I had coming here throughout my long waits and long flights, where how do I personally keep recreating the same reality by being attached to the same stories, to the same thoughts? Like when things are happening in my life, which in many cases is like, universe will always test us. It will always give us the same lesson and the opportunity to pass the test, to make a different choice under all circumstances. So I realized that there are so many things that are on autopilot, despite all my knowledge, despite all my access to information and channeling and all that. There are so many things that are so deeply embedded in our subconscious mind that we just react. There are so many things that we literally do on autopilot. We think, we identify situations on autopilot. We go back into the database of our brain, like what happened in the past, what did we hear, what was being said in the past, all this archive, the logical mind, the archive. And then we project it onto the current situation, and we keep recreating the same story. And the universe mirrors us. The universe will just then keep recreating the same experiences for us, because they say you are the creator of your reality. If this is the story that you believe, then you're going to keep re-experiencing it. So this is something that, and there are a lot of obviously emotions and stories attached to this, like how this been playing out, and like the people that were participating in me having this realization, even though they're not physically in my presence. But it's been very profound for me to have this understanding and becoming conscious of all these unconscious patterns that are happening in my life, and all these things that are coming up to the surface that I have, in my experience, opportunity to become conscious of and rewrite this story. Because like you know, like in the previous, especially 6 months since I left here. And it's so interesting because I come back to the same place. I'm literally in the same Airbnb, staying in the same room. My room is, you know, I organize it to look very similar to how it looked last time, my cocoon. But I feel like a completely different person. I feel like like a walk-in, like a kind of like imposter, right? Like an imposter that, oh yeah, I'm here and I'm stepping into the role that I played when I left, but I'm not the same person anymore. I'm someone completely different. And in these past 6 months, I had so many realizations, which I already shared with regards to the little prison that I created for myself in my little reality because of these stories, because of the belief systems that were built on trauma response, that were built on unprocessed stuff, whether it's from this life, previous lifetimes, ancestor wounding, and whatever else it is. And it just created these storylines that I became so strongly attached to, that just then kept recreating the same reality, to which then I respond the same way, because the brain will fill in the same information and the circle just repeats, the cycle repeats. It's like copy paste on a repeat. And now with this Mercury trying to North Node that we just experienced last night, I'm recording this on Thursday, but it will be released on Friday. And Moon was at the time still in the sign of Capricorn. Moon is moving into the sign of Aquarius now, and we know Saturn is still retrograde at this stage until 15th of November. Saturn will station direct right before the full moon in Taurus, after which 4 days later Pluto will re-enter Aquarius for the third and final time on this end anyway. Pluto will have ingress back into Aquarius once moving into Pisces in 2043. But anyway, that's about another story entirely. But with this Saturn, the structure of reality, which we keep talking about over and over and over again, and all the channelers, all the psychics, all the tarot readers, everybody's talking about this, how the structure of reality we are experiencing at the moment is changing. It's changing, it's going to end, it's going to completely transform. But this the structure of the outer reality, but so is the structure of our inner reality, because everything is a mirror, everything is you know, as within so without, as above so below, right? Everything it's connected, right? So the structure of our inner reality is changing, and with these 29 degrees and final minutes of Pluto in the sign of Capricorn for the final time in our lifetime, this is all coming up. This is all coming up, and this is so strongly connected to these stories, because Mercury just recently ingressed into the sign of Sagittarius. Prior to that, Mercury was in the sign of Scorpio, therefore ruled by Pluto, in the sign of Capricorn on 29 degrees, ruled by Saturn, retrograde in Pisces, ruled by Neptune, retrograde in Pisces. There are all these endings, and we have this Venus square to Neptune coming up on Saturday. So everything that's transiting through the sign of Sagittarius, and we know that Sun will be transiting through the sign of Sagittarius in a couple of weeks before the end of the month. On the 21st, Sun will move into the sign of Sagittarius. So all of this will be then illuminated. And everything transiting through the sign of Sagittarius is squaring Saturn and Neptune. So this is where we feel this huge pressure, and this is, I am experiencing this in my reality, but like I said, this is showing up in everybody's life, and this is showing up in collective stage with everything that's going on at the moment, with the elections and everything. This massive pressure for us to look at these thoughts and these ways of identifying reality that are so strongly connected to these stories behind which there are all these emotions, unprocessed emotions, and because of the same reaction, the same story get like confirmed because of the emotion that is still behind it, and then the same experience get copy pasted, right? We keep re-experiencing the same thing over and over and over again. So taking it back to my situation, because that's the one I'm having, that's the one I'm experiencing, I noticed how I am projecting the past into my present moment, which is then going to, of course, recreate the same future. And also at the same time, because of my current level of awareness and consciousness, I'm observing myself doing that, which before I didn't. I wasn't aware. Before it was just happening, you know, because it was all coming up from the subconscious. So at the same time, at the moment, I have the opportunity to catch myself and observe, oh, okay, that's interesting, you know, that I am projecting this thought or this story or this way of identifying this situation based on the past and making a story about it, even though the story might be completely inaccurate with regards to the present moment and the people involved currently, which then will create the same outcome. And a lot of that is like a self-sabotage, which again, we can look at teachings of Till Swan, and she would say there is no such a thing as self-sabotage, because there are aspects of ourselves that, act on our behalf, which is to protect us. So we go back to the coping mechanism, we go back to the response to the trauma, we go back to these unprocessed emotions, these emotions that are so deeply hidden in our in ourselves, in our subconscious mind, but also in our body, in our somatic body. And when I arrived to Mexico on Monday after this massively long journey, it was so interesting, the energetical shift that I felt in my body, like coming back to the place which I know for many, many lifetimes was my home. And even in this lifetime, this is a place where I felt at home most out of anywhere, definitely more at home here than anywhere in Europe, for sure. And it was interesting to observe in my body this transfer, this shift that took place with regards to, feeling that, okay, I am being held, I am being supported by this Mama Gaia, the Pachamama, and also the elements that are present here. And that's where I really felt that I have the opportunity here to become the magician, because we are all magicians, we are all creators of our reality, but we're not always aware of all these elements that are to our disposal, that are available to us, all these tools that we can use to create the reality that we want to be experiencing, rather than to be victim of the past, the unhealed program, thoughts, stories, whatever, all these things that once again keep being projected into present moment, that then creates our future. So, like I said, this realization has been coming up and through for me because of the certain people that are playing certain roles in my current reality, and how a lot of unhealed wounds from the past were being triggered and brought to the surface, and allow these aspects of myself that are connected to, these identities that are connected to these stories, to these emotions, to this suffering, to this all experience, allowing all these versions of myself to come to the surface, and for me to have the opportunity to become conscious of it, to observe, like, oh, okay, I thought that this version of me is gone, but it's not, So this is a long-winded, probably incoherent way of trying to explain and understand the energies that are happening, because we know we just experienced Scorpio new moon last week. It will be almost a week ago. I mean, by the time this is aired on Friday, it will be a week ago since the new moon in Scorpio took place. And this is a very significant new moon because, of course, apart from all the other crazy placements that were present in the chart, but this was the last new moon with Pluto being in a sign of Capricorn on 29 degrees, right? And it was trine by Saturn as the ruler of Pluto. So there were so many things that were active during this new moon, which were indicating that, this is the time of metamorphosis. This is the time of death and rebirth. And now Sun being on the Piscean decan of Scorpio, everything that was being brought up to the surface of our consciousness, especially while Mercury was in a sign of Scorpio, these things that we are so strongly attached to, that are making us feel disempowered, that are making us feel stuck. All of this is now being processed, because now Mercury is in a sign of Sagittarius, again, mutual reception with Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde, Jupiter is the storyteller, is the opportunity for the expansion of the consciousness, expansion of the story of the humanity, going in this new direction. And Mercury just made a trine to North Node. North Node is in Aries. Mars is now in the sign of Leo, which is all about creation. It's all about reconnection to our inner child, to our soul, to this innocence and this authentic expression of who we are and what we really came here to do. Which, yes, to a certain extent, we came here to balance the scale of karma, but we know with Saturn in the sign of Pisces, this is all ending, this is all culminating. Here it's where we have the opportunity to close all these old cycles. But in order to close them, we need to become aware of what they are. We need to become conscious of what it is that is creating this reality that I'm experiencing, which for many of us, this is not the reality I want to be experiencing. And through the contrast, through experiencing that which we are no longer in alignment and resonance with, because when we look at it again from the history point of view, we are super privileged. Like, no matter how much despair and challenges we're going through in this current incarnation, in comparison, what we had been going through or what we were going through and what the world looked like hundreds of years ago, like 500 years ago, thousands years ago, we are super privileged. We are super privileged to be alive at this time and age when we have all these options and all these choices. This was not available to humanity a few hundred years ago. The level of human consciousness wasn't there. Doesn't diminish what we're going through at the moment. It doesn't invalidate our current experience, but it puts things in a perspective. But, again, going back to present moment and what's going on for us astrologically in this, this massive buildup. There's not much going on astrologically right now. The biggest shabang was going on over the weekend, right after the new moon in Scorpio, where a lot of aspects were becoming exact, which I can't name for you because I don't have the brain capacity right now to remember all of that. But, after that, we had the exact Pluto-Mars opposition, the first one of the three. This is the one and only that's happening with Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. The further two will happen when Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. And Mars entered for the first time the sign of Leo, but we know Mars is going to retrograde soon from December 6th, and is going to retrograde back into the sign of Cancer, I believe on January 6th, and then it's going to re-enter Leo in April 17th, by which point Neptune is already in a sign of Aries. Neptune as the meaning, Neptune as the spirit, as the soul, as everything, all there is. So with all of this that's going, and by then, of course, the nodes will be in Pisces and Virgo because the nodes are shifting in January. So Mars will no longer be the ruler of the North Node at that stage. Neptune will be the ruler of the North Node. The modern ruler, the tradition, will be Jupiter, still retrograde at that point. So we have all these things that are coming up. All these things that are coming up for us to realize the contrast between where we've been, where we are, and where we want to go. And because of this massive shift of frequency and consciousness that's going on the planet, individually and collectively, but everybody, we are all connected, so everybody to a certain extent is tapping into it, and there is this enormous pressure to make change, for something to change. So that's why we see this old stuff coming up. It looks a little bit different, right? So in my circumstances, for example, okay, the people that are playing certain role in my life, they are different people, right? They have different names, they are different characters, but the energy is the same. On the global stage, we can see, okay, yeah, there is, these new people or whatever, whoever on the stage, or these new circumstances, shift of circumstances, but the energy is the same. So all of these things are coming up to the surface for us to become conscious of, okay, what is the story here? Where did it come from? And what is running this story? And is there a way to question it and create a different story? Because if I'm the creator, you are the creator, we are all the creators of our reality, and we are not enjoying the reality we are experiencing at the moment, the only person who can change it is me and you and all of us. Only we can change the reality we are experiencing at the moment, but this is something that happens on the internal level because we start from inside out, right? Like the change has to happen within each and every single one of us, which is why we are being bombarded by triggers in our personal life, individual experience, and bombarded by the external. Like it's all coming on, it's literally like 8 of wands, it's coming from every direction, all these things. And it's interesting because, of course, 8 is connected to this year, the year of strength. We are building up this strength, our true authentic essence is coming through. It's wanted to be acknowledged. So anyway, guys, so like with regards to, where I'm at, I am processing. There are a lot of emotions bubbling onto the surface that want to be acknowledged, that are connected to these stories, to these all identities, to these versions of myself that still live within me, and they want to be acknowledged because there is so much grief. A lot of it is mine, but a lot of it is not mine. But right now it's on my plate, it's in my experience, it's in my life, and I can no longer ignore it. So re-entering this cocoon, but feeling like a different person, because feeling like, I was being beaten up by life in the past 6 months, even though it sounds much worse than it really is. But emotionally, that's what it feels like, because all of these things that we are processing at the moment, the frequency and the vibration of that emotion will attract everything that is on that frequency, right? This is something that a lot of people have been sharing with that. So for example, when you're experiencing grief because of, I don't know, broken heart or something, all the all your memories that are connected to that emotion, this broken heart or grief, people, like leaving us or abandoning us or betraying us or whatever, all of that comes back. All of that comes back, even though it might not even be connected to this particular person or circumstance, but the emotion of that attracts all the times that this emotion was present in our lives. So that's why what we are experiencing at the moment could feel very overwhelming, because it's like an avalanche of stuff. It's like a flooding of emotion, and there'll be more, because we know that we have North Node coming into Pisces in January, and Pisces is about flooding. It is about all that came before. Pisces contains all the 11 zodiacal signs that come before. Everything is within Pisces. Pisces is the all there is the source. So again, however this is showing up in your life, it's important to be present, but also to be observant and to have the compassion and patience. And this is something that I keep reminding myself, because I don't want to be right here, right now. Well, physically, yes, I'm happy to be right, in this room and in this place. I'm very grateful that I was able to give this to myself, even though I didn't even know that this is exactly what I would need a few months ago. But I don't want to be emotionally where I am right here, right now. I want to be somewhere else. I want to be experiencing different reality. I want my relational dynamics to be different and stuff like that. But this is where I am. So this is, again, going back to this acceptance, right? It is what it is. I am who I am. This is my current situation. I cannot deny that this is what is happening. This is what I'm going through. Now, is this something that has to keep going on in my life? Is this something you have to keep re-experiencing? Is this something that humanity has to keep re-experiencing? No, not necessarily. This is all where the stories come up and the way we identify situation. And for example, it's very easy, and this is something I'm observing in myself, that I am currently experiencing, going back into this victimhood, also Pisces archetype, where, oh, why is this happening to me? Why this always happens? And, these self-fulfilling prophecies, this self-sabotaging tendencies and stuff. So it's like, oh, this always happens, so I'm already expecting it to happen again. And then bam, obviously, you being the creator of your reality and being such a strong manifester, yes, it does happen. And then we confirm the same story. I was right, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was the case, so we can apply this onto any situation, with regards to, what's going on a political scene, whatever. We can say like, oh yeah, I expected this, and then bad things are gonna happen, whatever things are gonna happen, and then bam, So this is where, again, we can apply the role of the observer, the higher self, just like I've been trying, I'm not saying I succeeded or I mastered it, but I've been trying, to be present with this human experience and observe it, and, still go through all of it and feel the feels and stuff, but at the same time trying to understand that I created this. I created 100% of my reality. So if I keep creating and recreating the reality that I don't want to be experiencing anymore, why is this happening? What is the program? What is the story? What is the belief that is keeping me convinced that it cannot be any other way? So this is how we have to become conscious of the unconscious. And once again, this Mercury trine the North Node, now Mercury being a sign of Sagittarius, still in a Sagittarian decan, this is really helpful, because with Jupiter going retrograde, this is helping us to regurgitate all these old stories that got triggered while Mercury was in a sign of Scorpio. They were being all brought up to the surface of our consciousness because Pluto 29 degrees, like all of it, the totality, and go like, oh yeah, this is pretty dark, I don't particularly like this aspect of myself, or, like, let's hide it. And like, no, there is no more hiding, because Pluto is going into Aquarius, that's it. Moon is now just about to enter Aquarius. By the time you're watching this, Moon is in the sign of Aquarius. Is this desire, the soul, our inner world, this moon, that intuition, the essence of who you are, even though that's sun. But like your moon is your like emotional landscape, that like, this is who I am, even though it might not be the most authentic expression, but it's the one that you emotionally attach to. So this moon is now moving into the sign of Aquarius, and it's saying like, I want to break free. I don't want to be experiencing this reality anymore, but this is the reality I'm experiencing at the moment. So that means I have to become a frequency match to the reality I want to be experiencing. And in order for that to take place, I need to identify what are these belief systems, what is the story that's playing out in my subconscious mind that is attached to the past and unprocessed stuff that keeps recreating my current reality, and what is actually serving me, okay, let me try to rephrase this so this makes sense. What am I gaining from this experience I'm still having, like what aspect of me is keeping me protected by having this experience, So again, like in my case, like with regards to coping mechanism and self-sabotaging tendencies, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, because there is a story playing out in my head, like being Scorpio South Node and Saturn in Scorpio and Pluto in Scorpio, that, well, nothing is gonna last, people's gonna abandon me, they're gonna betray me, they're gonna cheat, they're gonna leave, they're gonna die, whatever's gonna happen, the law of impermanence, right? Which is about like, yeah, but that is the lesson of Scorpio, law of impermanence, and it's 11:11 right now. Law of impermanence. Nothing is meant to last forever, because the evolution requires continuous change, right? As we grow and evolve, as you grow and evolve, you don't want your life to stay the same. You want your life to change, right? But we have these emotional attachments to who we were, to how things were. So in many cases, we do so-called self-sabotage because some aspect of us is convinced that this is better. This is what I have right now is better because it's safer, and it worked for me all this time. It kept me safe, it helped me to survive, so it's better. It's better than that other thing that is unknown and I cannot control, and I don't have any data, or I don't have any evidence because I haven't experienced that before. So this is what I mean. So again, I don't know if this makes any sense, because there is so much stuff going on in my processing experience right now, so many things, but this became very, very obvious to me, especially slipping into this victimhood mode, observing myself, like, what's this about, like, and trying to not judge myself and just create a space and hold this, hold the space for my inner child that feels that way, because obviously there is a reason why she feels that way. So, just observing and trying to understand, trying to reconnect, right, with myself. So, this became very obvious to me that, oh my God, I keep repeating the same thing, recreating the same story. Again, remember how powerful the words are. The words are spells, and then I keep experiencing the same reality. Oh my God, what a surprise. I already expected that to happen. Wow, and why is that? Because of these stories, right? So again, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's already half an hour talking about the same thing in circles. But once again, just to recap, if you are feeling overwhelmed because you are being bombarded from every single direction, whether this is your personal life, again, global scale, political scene, whatever else is going on, and there are a lot of things going on, as we know, this is why. Because all these things are coming up to show us these stories, these subconscious programs that are running in our mind, that are recreating the same reality because the universe, the cosmos mirrors you, you know, like, yeah, you believe that, okay, sure, no problem, I'll help you to manifest it so you can see it. So then you can decide, is this still what I'm in resonance with? Is this still something that gives me a sense of joy and happiness and makes me feel alive? And if that's not the case, then what is the reality I want to be experiencing, and what is preventing me from having that reality? What is the belief system that is telling me, no, I can't have it, or that is not available to me, or that's not possible, and why not, you know? And this is where we dig deep and go into like, well, who decides what is or isn't possible, what you should or shouldn't want? And this is where we have to take responsibility, you know, this Capricorn, the year number 8, taking the responsibility for this expansion, for this manifestation that we say we want. And again, this is, I turn it back onto myself because, you know, because this is what I'm going through, and having this opportunity to take a little bit of break, because I cleared my schedule for this first week just to be able to get over jet lag and just to settle down and just to process what just took place in the past, you know, few months. And I'm sure that's been the same for everyone, you know, like what's been taking place in the past few months, because Saturn retrograde, right? The structure of your reality, the matrix we are experiencing at the moment. And now there is an opportunity to reevaluate, because once again, everything going through the sign of Sagittarius is squaring and going to square Saturn and Neptune, right? So, and Jupiter all the way through, you know, it's still retrograde. So this is what is helping us to become conscious of the unconscious, process these belief systems, and decide, make a choice, because Jupiter is in a sign of Gemini and Mercury keeps moving, and Mercury is now preparing for his retrograde. Mercury, I believe, already entered his shadow, right? So Mercury is preparing for retrograde starting on 26th of November until December 15th, I believe. So Mercury will station direct on the day of the full moon in Gemini. So this is all about the choice, you know. Us as a humanity, we have the opportunity to make a choice. Us as individuals, me as an individual, I have the opportunity to make a choice. What reality do I want to be experiencing going forward? And if it's different from the reality I'm experiencing at the moment, why is that? And what am I willing to release and let go of? Especially these old versions of myself and these belief systems that they are attached to, in order to become this new version of myself, in order to create this new reality and have a different experience. Because unless we change, nothing will change, you know. So anyway, so I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. There is much more to be said about this theme, but I think I said enough. And I really want to let the cards to speak, because they are some very powerful decks, some of which I did use before, some of which I didn't. And like some of them were very adamant, and I actually had been very, again, strongly guided, strongly encouraged to bring a particular decks, even though they're huge, full-size print, and I just had to take the cards and the book. I couldn't take the box because it took too much space, but I was strongly guided to bring a particular decks, and I'm actually going to pull some cards from those. I pulled some for myself yesterday, because I have this new deck, Oracle of Awakening, which says that, you know, like it all starts in your heart or something. I don't have the box to the hand. The key to awakening lies in your heart, I think it says something like that. So we're going to start with the deck which I already used once before, this Healing Heart Oracle from Ina Sagal, because it literally is about that. We know in opposition with Aquarius, it's Leo. Leo is your heart. You know, heart is the gateway to the soul, is the true unfiltered guidance, you know, that comes from the source, you know, like what is your heart telling you? You know, your heart always responds first, you know, to any situation. And yeah, we can say, you know, broken heart and, you know, like traumatized heart, damaged heart, whatever heart, you know, and that's all aspect of it. But the heart is the greatest tool. And we know, even like from teachings of some spiritual teachers, namely, you know, Lee Harris, that comes to mind. Z said through the channels that he brought through, the heart is the currency of the future, right? So there is a lot to be said about that, about Leo qualities in a high vibration. So let's see, for anybody listening for this group, what heart wants to be acknowledged, what aspects of our heart want to be acknowledged at this time that we are healing. So let's see, what heart for everybody who is listening. Okay. Forgiving heart, number 36. Don't let the past imprison you in the present. There you go. Here we go, and look at this big fat moon, you know, that could be connected to this full moon in Taurus we have next, which I'm going to record about probably in the upcoming few days. And it's number 36, which is number 9. And next year is the year number 9, 2025, 2, 2, and 5, number 9. So yeah, we are culminating. We need to forgive. We need to forgive. This is also a Piscean quality. Have a compassion and forgiveness for, like, and this is again something that came from teachings of Lee Harris, for all the versions of ourselves that we had to be in order to get where we are now. And this is to do with you as an individual, ancestors, and also us as a collective. That everything that took place had to take place in order for us to get where we are now, to have this level of consciousness, the level of awareness, and to be able to go through this awakening process, through this ascension process. But there is an opportunity to end. This is again telling about the same thing, to end these old cycles, this old karma trap. We have the opportunity to release ourselves from that. And you know, this North Node in Pisces is going to help. So let's see what the booklet wants to say about this, but this is such a confirmation. Yeah, 36. Actually, this is the last card of the deck. This deck only has 36 cards. Forgiving heart, don't let the past imprison you in the present. Dear heart, as much as you have experienced a crushing sting of suffering and torment, the time has come to slowly and steadily let go of pain. Forgiveness doesn't mean that the callous treatment you experience was justified. However, healing means that you can learn much from the past pain and give yourself permission to move forward with a newfound wisdom and understanding. Forgiveness asks you to no longer harbor or feed old painful trauma, but instead move forward with more kindness towards yourself and others. Stop letting the past imprison you in the present. If you can't forgive the perpetrator of your suffering, then at least stop blaming yourself for putting yourself in a hostile situation. If you are the one who carries guilt and grief about something you have done, then take any possible steps to ask for forgiveness from someone else. Truly demonstrate to another that you have learned from the past and can be trustworthy in the present and the future. Heart healing. So this is the, how you say it? Well, the treatment. Place your hands on your heart and ask where there is still a charge, hidden blame, resentment, or anger in your being over difficult experiences. Take some slow, deep breaths and acknowledge what you are feeling. Imagine there is a purple fire in front of you. Then take any density you are ready to release out of your heart and place it into the purple fire. Once you have let go, imagine a person that you can begin to forgive standing in front of you and say, I understand that you are an important part of my lessons in this life. I thank you for teaching me. Take your time to say what it is and let them respond from their higher self, then come back to the present and journal anything else you need to express. So I think this is so perfectly describing what us as a humanity is going through. There is so much charge, and this is again in our individual experience, collective experience, there is so much charge, you know, that is based on this old blame, division, suffering, what happened, the stories, who did what to who, and we still hold this against one another, and we just keep recreating the same thing because there is again and again another opportunity for seeing this from different perspective, forgiving and letting that go, letting the charge go. And this is again about this karma, neutralization of the energy that is stuck in the past, that is unresolved. And at the bottom, number 20. At the bottom we have number 20, which is all about number 2, about duality, but also about partnership. Don't give up on love heart. What do you desire? Yeah, exactly. Once we forgive, and let go of the past, we can open our heart to what it is that we want. Yeah, don't give up on love. Okay, let's see what that one wants to say as well. What do you desire? Dear heart, I know you have experienced immense pain and heartbreak. You have gone into survival mode, numbing and pushing away all hurtful feelings while at the same time repressing joy, intuition and love. You have developed immense fear of opening yourself to loving, passionate, given, connected, empowering and healing relationships. The time has come for you to gain more inner strength and courage and take a step forward towards love. Know that no matter how much you have tried to convince yourself that love is unattainable, this is not the truth. In fact, there is a magnificent soul that is yearning to connect with you and share your life journey. Oh, this is so interesting because the next deck I have ready, the other one that I was strongly guided to bring with me, is called Journey of Love. Share your journey, however, they can only connect with you if you let go of your limited ways of thinking. If you are already in a relationship, this is a nudge for you to work on letting go of the past and open your heart to a renewed depth of love. If this is not possible with your current partner, then know that there is someone else for you who can offer you the type of nourishing love you are searching for, but you have to create space for them. Heart healing. It is time to go beyond your fear and make a commitment to release what is holding you back from meeting the love of your life. Journal what you are afraid of and what you are ready to let go of. Then record the qualities you are looking for in an incredible partner. Imagine what this person's energy may feel like and practice opening your heart daily to receiving this person into your life. Dress up and go out to a variety of events where you can meet your dream lover. If you are in a relationship, give yourself an opportunity to reconnect with your partner and rediscover them and your relationship. I think this again applies, and I know this definitely applies to me personally, but this applies to humanity also. If you look at it from the collective perspective, like what majority of people in the world are yearning for is love, connection, freedom, abundance, joy, happiness, wealth, well-being, stuff like that. Not even wealth as money, but abundance, sense of abundance. So again, this is like with regards to humanity as a collective, in order to allow all this all this love, all this joy, all these, again, Leo qualities, nourishment, purpose, connection, all this stuff, we need to let go of these stories, these stories that we cannot forgive to one another. So yeah, this could be applied to individually and collectively. Humanity lost hope. In many cases, we lost hope. But we need to revive it. We need to find it again, because all there is love. You are love. We all came from love. We return to love. That's all there really is. And I don't mean just the romantic love. I mean the connection, the heart, the Leo, that thinks that is the driving force. Without that, nothing really makes sense. Nothing holds a meaning, right? So anyway, so let's go to the second destined deck that I had to bring with me. It is Alana Fairchild, but it's in collaboration with other people, so the descriptions are actually not as long as she normally does. Alana Fairchild Rasuli and Richard Cohen, The Journey of Love. It's got 70 cards. They are very beautiful cards. And yeah, I used it for the first time yesterday, and it made me cry. And this is a very... I really feel that this is all of us. We are on the journey of love, first to ourselves, to rediscover this connection that we have to the infinite, to our higher self, to all there is, and then we'll be able to connect to one another and life and world as all in a very different way. But at the moment, majority of us feel disconnected, numb. Like when I left Slovakia, I felt flat, like a flat line, like, you know, when your heart monitor just goes flat. And then when I touched down, when I landed here and I felt the energy of this land, I felt like resuscitated, you know, like literally I could feel my heart to come alive again. And first I felt the euphoria of that, but then the grief poured in too, you know, because this is all part of it. This is all part of this healing, this journey of love. So anyway, let's see what card wants to come for all of us collectively and everybody watching with regards to the journey of love, the journey that we are all on, everyone alive on this planet right now and beyond, because that's what's connecting all of us, regardless of, you know, whether you're in physical form or wherever you are. We are all connected. Okay, let's see. The choice, number 62. And look at all these beautiful colors, especially the orange, sacral chakra. And then we have the turquoise, the throat. But it's a mixture of everything. But the vortex, the choice, exactly. Humanity has to make a choice. And it's 62, number 8. Number 8, the year we add. This is the year of the choice, and this is what I felt this entire year. This is the year of choice. This is the year when humanity has to make a choice. Individuals have to make a choice. Do we want to keep going down the same path or not? And if not, I have to be the one to change the course of the boat, because I'm the captain, right? So the choice. Let's see what the choice has in store. And at the bottom we have God speaks. God speaks. And look again, you know, very similar. The circle, you know, the light coming down, all this green, the healing. Here we have more the higher chakra colors. You know, we go from the heart, and then is the indigo and the purple and the light. God speaks. And this is number 33, which is the 6. 33 is the Christ consciousness, the heart consciousness, the master number frequency. Okay, so let's see about the choice, number 62. Yeah, this deck has 70 cards. There are a lot of cards in here. So yeah, this is the choice, the vortex, the portal. And I feel also 1111 is coming up. That will have a very strong magnitude. Okay, the choice. There is a choice that you need to make. You are aware of it already, or it is coming to your awareness very soon. Embrace the unknown and say yes. You have the opportunity to enrich your world, to receive, and therefore to be able to share much more. If anxiety or fear arises, guilt or shame, treat it as a cleansing of your emotional waters, as they receive so much more inflow from the divine ocean. Let the old layers rise to the surface of your awareness to be washed away. This is exactly what's happening. What seems to be so much in the context of your own emotional waters, it is not much at all when compared to what the great ocean is capable of holding. So let the divine ocean take the old, washing it away from you and replenishing you with the new, that you may serve life all the better. This oracle brings you guidance. It is safe to choose now. There is no wrong choice, just a choice that resonates with your heart. If it is challenging you, that is an opportunity for you to let the divine cleanse and lift you into the vibration where you feel at peace with your choice, where you can accept the grace it will bring to you. Do this now. It's your time to step up, make your life easy on yourself and open to love in a more trusting way. Come now, the divine is calling you to play. And then there is a poem. Our lives are measured in choices we have made along the path we all call living. Each compass point a possibility, each step an opportunity. Seemingly random, each decision moves us inexorably in a direction both unknown and yet somehow familiar. For upon reflection, the strength we find in choosing, or the surrender of letting all unfold, leads us to the place we started from when we made that first choice to be here again. These poems always touch my heart. This is such a profound deck, and it was The spirit was so adamant I had to take this deck, and it's a huge box because it's got 70 cards. It's Blue Angel Publishing, which has these enormous boxes, and I was like, how can I take this box? And I was like, okay, I'll just take the cards. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. And okay, let's see what this God Speaks wants to tell us. This number 33. The heart consciousness, and it opens up right there. Divine is speaking to you directly. Underneath the silence, there is the endless music of love, pulsating through the universe. Within that sacred sound, there is a guidance. It may or may not have words. It may be a feeling in your heart that you can only access where you are still, relaxed, dancing in a yoga practice, or even half asleep. It assures you that behind any struggle or challenge, there is only ever the divine seeking you out, calling you to surrender some fear or doubt or other so you can move closer, trusting the sound of love beyond anything else. For in truth, no matter what may appear to be, there is nothing else. This oracle brings you guidance. You are being loved into becoming. Be open to being shown the divine genius in all that is happening. If you feel you are being nudged, know you are being nudged by the divine. If you feel you are being held back, know that you are being held back by the divine. All is happening perfectly for you, and all will unfold in divine timing. The divine is speaking to you. When you are captivated by the beauty of nature or an illogical sense that everything is okay, listen. That's the divine talking to you, reassuring you that all is unfolding according to spiritual law, in perfect co-creation with your own destiny. And then the poem. When the first sound was born, the air was filled with fantasy, like the flower's sweet perfume, alive in the moment. There was nothing else. Only the energy coursing through my body and the tears on my cheeks. I was carried away on the strings, each note striking a chord within and answering with the emotions of my soul. How priceless the surprise, how powerful the memory to be with the violin when it sings. So here we go. The God speaks through the violin, my favorite instrument. So yeah, there's the journey of love. To make a choice, to make a different choice. Don't give up on love, yeah? It's time to forgive. Okay. And now I have multiple decks to choose from and the time is running. Okay. So let's do the healing waters because there was healing mentioned. Healing waters, this is from Rebecca Campbell. Let's see, healing waters oracle. What it is that we're healing at this time. Okay, 2 cards. The ripple effect, part of something bigger. Details are taken care of. Again, we have another vortex, another portal. And ride the waves, life lessons and growth. You will get through this. This is pretty self-explanatory. And what's at the bottom? Gentle force, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Again, you know, we are talking about something that is bigger than just us, bigger than just our individual experience. We are living in a times where this is probably one of the most transformative times in the human history. And this is about everything. You know, everything that was, is, and will be. And this is why it's so overwhelming. But again, everybody alive at this time chose to be here. We all have the tools. We all knew. Our higher selves knows exactly what's happening. So even though what we are experiencing might be not what our ego wants to be experiencing, and we might be freaking out, everything is happening exactly as it was decided, as it was agreed upon. So there is this bigger picture that we have to be patient to see, this persistent, patient, long game that we need to be patient to see unfold. Ride the waves, life lessons and growth. You will get through this. Yeah, and look at all that water, the emotions that needs to be felt. But let's see this ripple effect. This is the card which I feel guided to read about. Part of something bigger, details are taken care of. Let's see the ripple effect. Okay, let's see if she put it in a alphabetical order. Okay, we have the Rider-Waves here as well. Okay, let's do ripple effect. Part of something bigger, details are taken care of. When wind blows onto water, ripples are formed. If the wind is consistent and strong enough, those ripples become waves, and these waves have the potential to gather momentum every step of the way. This card delivers the message of the ripple soon to become a wave. You are playing a part in the collective ocean of change. Maybe you know the part you play, or perhaps it's not clear. Your role in collective ocean matters, and you're having an impact by the way you're showing up to your path. The ripple effect card could be a sign that a project or creation is becoming a bigger success than you might have previously thought it would be. Or it could be a sign that you're part of something much bigger than just you. Perhaps you're one drop in a giant ocean, part of a constellation of souls, here to create an impact on this world. The momentum is building, the details are being taken care of, something swelling and growing. Don't get lost in the details, rather trust that momentum is building and will continue to do so. Swim your own race, don't look around you. Something's happening and you are an important part of it. Success and momentum are on their way. And then healing waters activation. As I surrender to the flow of my destiny, I welcome more trust, ease, and support every step of the way. And then we had the Rider-Waves, and yeah, and then the gentle force, the long game. Okay, how was the time? Okay, let's do the Rider-Waves then. There's this Hawaiian lady in the water. Life lessons and growth, you will get through this. You're most definitely living right now, and while you may be experiencing challenges in your life, they're shaping you into what you'll be, who you will be someday soon. Just as strong winds that blow consistently over the ocean transfer energy to water to generate waves, the same happens when we feel the pressure of life knocking on our doors. Life pressures and challenges invite us to transform in the process. They can cause calm seas to gain momentum and waves to form. While at the time it can feel overwhelming, our true character is born through these unusually unexpected changes that life delivers. Our experiences shape us. The most compassionate people in the world are the ones who know the real depth of life. The ones who have the capacity to understand us are those who have been through their own choppy waves. The ones who are able to hold us when we feel most out of our depth are those who have been through it themselves. Be like a surfer, and instead of reacting to the waves or seeing them as a thing to be avoided, choose to respond. And when possible, see if you can find a wave to ride those waves all the way to the shore. There may be times when you fall off your board, but you'll meet fellow surfers who are riding their own waves back to themselves. Soul inquiry: how can you respond to the waves of your life instead of reacting to them? How can you let the transformation happen? So yeah, again, there is a big change. We know it. We can feel it. We can feel it building, and everything that's happening, it's creating the versions of ourselves we are here to become. The resiliency. Okay, let's read the last one as well. The gentle force. You know, this lady with like a wishing well. And all the green, look about healing, pink and green. This is all heart chakra. The lower heart and the higher heart. Gentle force. Let's see. Consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Over time, a single drop of water has the power to shape even the hardest, most solid materials, from stone and rock to cliffs and mountains. In fact, water is responsible for crafting most of the stunning landscapes of this world. We can learn a lot from water in this regard, how consistent action, day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, can create steady, lasting change. A hack stone is a stone with a naturally occurring hole through it caused by water erosion. For the Celtic people, they were good omens and were thought to offer protection. So many people give up before they begin to see results, but deep-rooted change takes time. The most magnificent creations require committed crafting. We all have passions, but what most people don't do is commit to these things and master them. We are all beginners of something. The great masters, musicians, and artists of history were too. Commit to your passions. Throw yourself into what you most long to create. Commit to showing up day after day. Small steps taken consistently make a world of difference. If you commit to your creations with grounded daily action, in a week or a decade from now, you'll be blown away by what you've created. There's no rush. Consistency is the key. Be like the drop of water on the hackstone. Play the long game. Don't burn out before you really begin. Be patient and keep showing up. Soul inquiry: how can you show up with more consistency to what you longing to create? And this, I feel, is also connected to these many people losing hope because they don't see the world they want to see manifested just yet. But it will take time. It will take time to create this completely different world, completely different reality. Okay, I still have 3 decks. I did want to use the Lantern Oracle, so let's use it. Let's shine some light. So we already had the guidance with regards to the heart and our journey, and the waters, the change that's coming up, and the persistency that we need to commit to, and patience. And now let's see if the lantern can shine some light onto this process. Okay, Lantern Oracle, what is your guidance? One card, please, Spirit. Do you have a message? Okay. Distorted desire, number 15. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. What are we chasing, right? And all the black, what are we chasing? What are we afraid of? You know, are we chasing what we really want? Or are we chasing, or are we just running away from what we don't want? What's at the bottom? Spirit self, number 1. Be who you are as you are. Be who you are as you are. So what are we running away from? Is it our true self? Yeah. And this is number 15. That's the devil card. The choices, right? Again, the choices we are making. What choices are we making? So here we go. Distorted desire. Knowing the difference between needs and wants is key to navigating what is at the root of a desire. It helps us to distinguish what is a self-sabotaging compulsion or mirage from what is genuinely life-enhancing aspiration to be realistically pursued. When what we think we want is not what we need or long for at a core level, the realization such as desires potentially results in something nightmarish rather than dream fulfillment. In worst case scenarios, this can have us running for our lives like the featured mother. Whether or not we consciously recognize a delusion for what it is, an untruth can never satisfy our needs. Illusions have no sustenance or substance and therefore cannot satiate the burning desire that mistakenly drives us to attain them in the first place. Nonetheless, at the origin of every distorted desire is an invaluable lesson for us to learn about ourselves. Gently unpack the reasons why you are turning away from rather than confronting the things that are not actually as they seem in your life. It may be necessary to compassionately release yourself from an unwarranted conviction that things or a person will magically change into what they have the potential to become and cease making excuses for why they have not. Mother's message. Once we get clear on what our heart's core desire is and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes and to receive it. Make the space for your heart's true longing to come in by freeing yourself of any illusions still hunting you. Wow, this is similar message to, you know, these previous cards that came through. like about releasing the space, creating the space for what is authentic to us by letting go of this attachment to things that aren't, but helped us to survive, that helped us to get to where we are now. And that's why there is this emotional attachment to that, that if I just can have this, everything will be okay. This person's gonna sort everything out on the world stage. This one person is going to fix everything. And that's not gonna happen, right? So yeah, what are we running away from? What are we running towards? And which aspect of that is the true expression of who we really are? Or is it just a learned behavior? Is it who we were that helped us to get to where we are, right? So let's go to spirit self. Be who you are as you are, you know, with all that light. Look, she has like a, it's like a peach or an apple. She's holding some kind of fruit. Be who you are as what you are. And this is number 1, which is like a magician, right? The maiden wanders in search of her spirit self, represented in a golden apple. Okay, it's an apple. She holds. She does not recognize that she already has that which she seeks, and continues to look longingly into distance. To reach the place the place she desires open the horizon cannot fulfill her. She will only yet again look longingly into another landscape in the distance. For her to authentically know, enjoy, and integrate any external achievement, she must first discover that she contains within all that she seeks. This is the same for us when we search outside ourselves for a connection with the truth of who we are. Spirit self, also referred to as higher self, vital force, true north, or spirit, is the inner light within that is never lost or is extinguished. To live according to our inner life is challenging. We need encouragement and acceptance to align with and embody our spirit self-fully. As we develop into adults, the societal pressures to fit in, conform, and fulfill particular roles present obstacles to attuning to our spirit self. Therefore, we are prone to growing estranged from our spirit self. Feelings of self-alienation commonly ensue and further result in the sense of dissatisfaction and restlessness that can adversely affect all aspects of life. Choose to express yourself authentically in an important area of your life. Choosing you in this situation is likely to bring fulfillment and initiate the beginning of you doing the same in other areas of your life. This card also signals a time of significant change, achievement, and wonderment to come from living according to your light. The card heralds a readiness to end any tendency to overvalue external forms of power or influence. Hold this card to your heart as a reminder of your birthright to assert your truth and personal power. Your spirit self is always available to you and is worth prioritizing. Maiden's message: trust spirit self is the nourishing light that you seek. Yeah, the number 9, the Hermit card. That's gonna be the next year's lessons. Going within. Yeah. So we don't have to keep running away from the shadow, but find that the light has been in us all along. All right. 107. Let's just pull something from the Psychic Tarot, because when I was shuffling, the card of the Fool came out 2 times. So let's see if we get a confirmation for that. And then we finish with the Oracle of Awakening, which takes us back to our heart. Okay, so Psychic Tarot, any final messages with regards to the current energies? Oops. It's like all over the place. Triumph and Patience. This also has been coming up. Triumph, this is the card of Chariot, the Cancer card, right? Recognizing who we really are, you know. But like if we run in too fast, then we come to the Tower. But this is about the emotional stability. This is kind of like, this is what Mars retrograde in Cancer will help us to discover. Who are we really? who we want to be, who we want to become. And that's be who you are. Just be who you are, you know, connect to the spirit, to your higher self, right? And patience, this is a temperance card. You know, again, it takes time. The change takes time, you know. Where was that card? Was it this one, gentle force. It takes time, patience and determination for the world to change, because the world is literally shifting on its axis right now. Your personal world and the world as all, the world that we are experiencing as a collective experience, is changing. It will take time. And it will take a lot of healing. We see the purple, you know, the forgiveness, and the gold, you know, connecting to the solar plexus. You know, we are seeding the seeds of the future of who we are becoming, you know, and also the horse, freedom, and the orange flag, sacral chakra, you know, creation. It will take time. And these are two major arcanas. Let's see what's at the bottom. Throat chakra, self-expression, speak your truth. Number 5, the change. And beneath that, rejoice in celebration. 3 of Cups, yeah? Reconnection. So, yeah. Creating the new version of yourself, becoming who you came here to be, takes time, because we are healing and letting go of these identities that in many cases we took on in order to play out these roles, to manifest these things that are unhealed with regards to time and space and past. And now we are like running towards, we are on our way to becoming. And this is number 7, which is connected to Neptune. Again, North Node in Pisces. That's where we're heading in the year number 9, which is about culmination and Hermit. Okay, and final message, closing message from the Oracle of Awakening, the one about how we find the heart, right? The key to awakening lies in your heart. So we started with the heart and now we end with the heart. So this is from Alana Simone, Oracle of Awakening. Okay. Our message of awakening, Spirit. 1 card, please. Thank you. We only have a time. It's already 1:11. Okay, 1 message. Okay. Okay, they all jumped, but this one turned. So, kindred, tribe, ancestry, chosen family. Look at those dolphins. That's serious. Our spiritual sun. Yeah, and this takes us back to Lemuria and dolphins, you know, like joyful animals, very wise. Tribe, ancestry, chosen family. And at the bottom is surrender. Trust yourself. Trust your higher self. Again, the higher self is coming up. The higher self will carry you through. Trust. But let's see about this kindred. You know, we are co-creating a new human family, coming together with our soul families to help us, support us in this process. Kindred, let's see. Okay, so this is this Lemurian card. Friendship is another word for love. Tribe, ancestry, chosen family. Our kindred are our people, our animals, friends, homies, family, chosen family, and tribe. This may also include our ancestors, our star family, and beyond. There are those of us who thrive in groups and others who prefer solitude, but we all have kindred. We are all kindred. This is a card that supports systems about taking care of each other in a respectful way. It is important that each of us has the room to become an independent person without the undue influence of others. We must, becoming who you are meant to become, Authenticity, Leo. We must each have the freedom to be able to exert our free will. As we learn to respect each person in our lives, we become part of a beautiful support system that uplifts each other, allowing everyone the space to grow into their potential. When this card comes up for you, it is prompting you to reflect on those in your life that you consider kindred. How are they in service to you, and do you show appreciation and respect for that service? Are you in service to your people in a way that respects your boundaries and theirs? Pay attention if one is taking advantage of another and take steps to remedy that. I chose dolphins for this card because, like humans, they create complex social structures that last for years and years. They depend on each other for support, protection, and companionship. Shout out to the kindred spirit that make your life magical, the folks who hold you up, keep you accountable, and provide a safe space to land. Affirmation: and engage in balance and reciprocal relationships with all the people in my life. And this is about creating the new relational paradigm where people are allowed to be authentic, to be themselves, and also to have the sense of belongings, which is not what we are experiencing at the moment through all the division and separation, that you either with us or against us, and all these like there's always two gangs, right? Like you already this or you that, left or right, which one are you, right? And creates all this separation. And this is again about the forgiveness. Yeah, all these people, they played the role they played to get us where we are now. They helped us to grow, they support us in our becoming. But now we have the opportunity to choose. We have the opportunity to choose without judgment. Who are my people? Who are my people? And this is something that I already covered in my previous video with regards to my family. I can have a love and compassion for these people that are my biological family, but I also have to have a love and compassion for myself and understand the boundaries and how these energies are impacting me. And without, having to judge it, I have to create the conditions for myself to thrive. So anyway, this card, I feel, goes much deeper. It really goes into how we are going to be creating relationships and be in relationships going forward, like where you are able to be yourself and you don't have to associate with people that you are not in resonance with. But this is not about judgment. It's not about better or worse, about division. It's just about the choice. It's just about resonance and frequency, and about creating a different way of being, different way of relating different structures in this world. So yeah, this is an opportunity now, through everything that we're shedding, everything we're going through, and everything we are experiencing, to also reevaluate what kind of people I want in my life. Like once we release ourselves, once we let go of all these karmic bonds and contracts where we don't have to play all these roles to one another just in order to pay off some karmic debts, but where the slate is cleaned, what kind of people do we want in our life? Like it's literally about coming together as a soul family, as a soul tribe, and everybody's got that. So yeah, and your higher self will support you. The card at the bottom: surrender, trust your higher self. Surrender and trust your higher self. We will be supported. We are always supported. So anyway, guys, 1 hour 16 minutes. I'm gonna leave it at that. I want to thank all my spirit guides and my higher self and ancestors and our Starseed family, and especially the cards and spirit and all the messages that came through. Thank you for all the help and support. Like I said, my energy is not at its peak right now, so I definitely need to ask for help when I need it. And in this case, I'm very grateful for it being granted. And I hope that the messages resonated. I hope that they offered potentially some clarity and guidance with regard to your personal experience, what you're experiencing, and also having a deeper understanding of the collective experiencing, and to just give ourselves a permission to go through what we need to go through and to become what we meant to become, right? Whatever that is for you. So anyway, I wish you all a wonderful weekend. I will be releasing this on Friday, so this is potentially when you're seeing it, and I'll be releasing the astrological forecast sometime throughout the weekend. So I'm sending everybody much love, and bye for now.